name is Katie Beaulieu, and on behalf of the City of Huntington Woods and our Anti-Racism Advisory Committee, it is my honor to welcome you to our second annual Juneteenth celebration. Whether you live here in our community or are visiting, this is a special day for us to come together, learn together, and celebrate together. I'm honored to serve as the chair of our city's Anti-Racism Advisory Committee. And just to share a little bit about us, we're a committee of residents working with the city administration to build anti-racist programming and improvements throughout the city that have its effects felt beyond city limits. We're so proud of our city working intentionally to be an inclusive and welcoming place for all. So I'd like to start this evening with a land acknowledgement. For those unfamiliar and in the spirit of learning together, a land acknowledgement is a formal statement that recognizes and respects Indigenous peoples as traditional stewards of this land and the enduring relationship that exists between Indigenous peoples and their traditional territories. We acknowledge that our city rests on the ancestral and contemporary homeland of the Three Fires Confederacy. In 1807, these sovereign lands were granted by the Ojibwe, Ottawa, Potawatomi, and Wyandot nations through the Treaty of Detroit. We honor the heritage of Indigenous communities and their significant role in shaping the course of this region. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dallas Armand, who will be sharing his talents with us today. Mr. Armand is a tenor born in Kansas City, Missouri, with Congolese roots. He finished his undergraduate degree in performance at Wayne State University under the teachings of Professora Frances Brockington. He is well-versed in music stylings ranging from classical to R&B and hopes to bring a healing to the world with his musical gifts. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Dallas Armand, who will be performing Lift Every Voice and Sing, which is often referred to as the Black National Anthem. This hymn was written as a poem by NAACP leader James Weldon Johnson in 1900.
How y'all doing today? So traditionally, when the first verse is going, I usually have you stand. If you can stand, rest on your feet for me, as they say in the church. Rest on your feet, please. And then after the first, there we go. After the first verse, I'll probably do this, but if I forget, hopefully somebody else will just sit, okay? Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chasing rod, felt in the days when unborn hope had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over the way that the tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out of the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us far along the way, Thou who hast by Thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in Thy path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadowed beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God and true to our native land. Our native land.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dallas. All right, it is now my pleasure to welcome to the podium our mayor, Bob Hall.
Thank you, Katie. And once again, thank all of you for coming out to our second annual Juneteenth celebration. Today is about celebrating America's history while acknowledging a legacy of racism in the United States. Thanks to the commitment of our City Commission, many of whom are here tonight, Commissioner Michelle Elder, who diversity and inclusion is very near and dear to her heart, Commissioner Jules Olsman, and Mayor Pro Tem Jules Schenck, who has a long history in his career fighting racism. Commissioner Rozelle had all the plans to be here. He had a flight back home earlier today that got delayed, and he said if it landed in time, he'd be rolling in right about now. So he's not here yet, but he's trying to get here. As well, I need to send out a big thank you to the hardworking Anti-Racism Committee and the city staff, especially our library, who does a wonderful job with their programming and community education. Because of them, we can celebrate progress right here in Huntington Woods. And we use this holiday to remind everyone that we need to work together for a brighter future. Thanks again for attending, and I hope you enjoyed the program that they have organized for us this evening. And I'll turn it back to Katie. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor Paul, for being here with us today. I also want to acknowledge and recognize other members of the City Commission in attendance this evening. I know Mayor Paul announced a few, but just to make sure we're mentioning, first, Mayor Pro Tem Jenks, that is here today. Hello. Also the committee liaison for our current committee. Commissioner Elder, over here as well. And Commissioner Olsman, I saw you right over there. Hello. We also have a few other special guests of the city and former leaders here today, current and former. First we have Ron Gillum, former mayor. I think he's here somewhere. We also have Jamie Powell Horowitz here. I saw her somewhere. And also Gilda Jacobs is here too. So welcome everybody. Again, to the city leadership, we really appreciate your continued support in our collective efforts to make Huntington Woods a more welcoming place for all. And I would like to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Dr. Ollie Johnson. Dr. Johnson is the chair and professor of the Department of African American Studies at Wayne State University. He received his PhD in political science from University of California, Berkeley, and has conducted extensive research on the Black political experience in the Americas. In his leadership role at Wayne State, I see Dr. Johnson advance diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives across the campus and beyond. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Johnson.
Good evening. Thank you so much. I think it'll come back. Thank you so much for, I think it's this spot. I like to walk around and be mobile, but I will try to stand relatively still. Thank you so much for coming out tonight to celebrate Juneteenth. It means a lot to me. I want to thank Katie. I want to thank Katie and the staff. I got to find the spot. I'm going to keep on trying. Katie is a leader at Wayne State University, and she does a lot of work with students, faculty, and staff. And so our paths have crossed a few times, and I know how organized and effective and efficient she is, and she gave me a time limit, so I can only talk for 2 hours. So I want you to be calm and patient. I'm going to get through it. I want to cover a lot. No, I'm just joking. She gave me about 20 minutes. So I'm going to say what Juneteenth is, say why we celebrate Juneteenth, and talk about what Black people want for ourselves and for our country. I will keep on trying. Juneteenth refers to June 19, 1865. On that day, Union Army General Gordon Granger. Yes.
We're going to move you over to the band's microphone.
Okay, I'll follow your lead. Are you sure? Are you sure? Thank you. Can you hear me now? Thank you, thank you. Juneteenth. We are here to celebrate Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a celebration of African American freedom, because on that day in 1865, Union General Gordon Granger, leading Union troops, arrived in Galveston, Texas, to inform the people of Texas, but especially the enslaved population, that they were free and that slavery had been abolished. Slavery had been abolished in Texas with the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863, but it wasn't implemented. And so it's always important to remember that in our struggle for freedom, justice, and equality, sometimes we have to fight militarily. We have to physically conquer our freedom. And that's what African Americans did in the Civil War, along with the Union Army. And you know some of our great warriors, such as Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, etc. But while we celebrate Juneteenth, we remember that we're still in 2023 fighting for freedom, justice, and equality. We're still in 2023 fighting for freedom, justice, and equality. Why? Because the 13th Amendment of 1865
officially abolished slavery. The 14th Amendment, what was it, 1868? Gave us citizenship. The 15th Amendment, 1870, gave citizens of the United States the right to vote. These are the Civil War amendments, crucial, fundamental in American history. But given that those three key amendments passed in the immediate aftermath of the Civil War, why did we have approximately 100 years of Jim Crow segregation? Formal, legal, institutionalized racial oppression in the former Confederate states, the states that lost the Civil War, with similar manifestations in other states in the country. How could that be in America? Well, unfortunately, most of the Confederates never recognized in their hearts and souls their formal defeat in the Civil War. And so that's why I tell my students today what one of my professors told me many years ago: Civil War's not over. We're still fighting it. We're still fighting for freedom, justice, and equality. And that's why I appreciate all of you here today. Your presence gives me hope, because all is not well in America. I read the anti-racism plan put together by the committee, and I was impressed. And I think we should give Katie and the committee members a round of applause for their good work. I just got the impression that they were serious, that they recognized the seriousness of the situation in Huntington Woods, Oakland County, Michigan, the United States, and the world. I know that a lot of you were hurt but moved to action by what happened to George Floyd in 2020. I know that's the context that the anti-racism committee emerged out of. And again, if we recognize the three levels of racism, individual, institutional, and systemic and structural, then we can make some progress on all these fronts. I know that you have here in your city one of the wealthiest, most well-educated, and committed communities in the state of Michigan and the country. That's a good thing, and I know you want to make Michigan and the world a better place. And so that's why I come to you as an advocate of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is serious business. We can all do better. We can do better at Wayne State. We can do better at Huntington Woods. We can do better in the city of Detroit. We can do better in the country. But I want to emphasize that we got to get serious. We got to handle business. Our work isn't done, because there's a political leader, or should I say leaders, in the United States who want to go back in time, who want to go back to the good old days, which were really the bad old days for the majority of the American people, and most definitely for the majority of black folks. We can't go down that path. We really can't go down the path of banning books, of outlawing egalitarian public policy, social policies, like affirmative action, preventing the teaching of African American history in our public schools. This is so serious that we've got to organize, mobilize, and implement policies as outlined in your plan and others for an inclusive curriculum. How can we have an intelligent, educated population when we don't have a robust knowledge of African American history? When we have a watered down version, when all the painful pieces are taken out, all the oppressive pieces are taken out, all of the exploitation. We can't do it. We've got to be about truth. We've got to be about wisdom. We've got to be about inclusion. And I applaud you for Juneteenth. I applaud you for your other celebrations. I want to be invited back for the Martin Luther King Day celebration. I want to be invited back for Kwanzaa. I want to be invited back for Black History Month. Because as we say in African American Studies, we celebrate Black History Month every day. And I want you to celebrate Black history every day as well, because Black history doesn't belong only to black people. Black history is American people. Black folks are part of the human family. And even though we haven't been given the love and affection that family members should receive these past 500 years of slavery, segregation, and discrimination, we're part of the human family, and we deserve and expect all the love and affection that families give to their members and to each other. That's what we have to be about. I want to leave you. I got a few more minutes, Kate. I want to leave you with a few recommendations. I am so, I don't want to say scared, but I am so concerned that approximately 50% of the American people, the American electorate, support a politician who is trying to take us in the most anti-democratic direction of recent times. We can't go down that way. We cannot go down that way. And we need you. I need you. Because part of the reason that this politician, who I don't want to name, was almost successful in the recent presidential election, and why he could ask the Secretary of State in Georgia for 11,000 votes is because we do not have the most democratic form of presidential elections. We got a problem. We got a big problem. It's called the Electoral College. It's an anti-democratic institution included in the Constitution. As you know, I assume all of you are Americans. You know you never voted for president, right? I hate to say it, but you never voted for president. You voted for electors who select the president. And the electors are usually faceless, nameless party activists. They're party operatives, they're lawyers, they're donors, they're people who are involved in party politics. No other democratic country in the world that has a presidential system selects their president that way. I studied Brazil, I spent a lot of time in Brazil, Latin America. Most countries have presidential election system. What do? One person, one vote. Direct election. That's the way the world does it. We've got to change that. That's why that politician could go state to state, including in the state of Michigan, cultivating fake electors, coming with a slate of fake electors who will present themselves as real electors and then help to elect the president of the United States. That's a problem. We got a problem. And so, some way, somehow, we've got to democratize presidential elections in the United States. I support the abolition of the Electoral College and the direct election of president, but that's not on the table yet. Many politicians have presented bills to reform the Electoral College, some to abolish it, but it's never gained any traction in Congress and throughout the country. But I really do think we need a movement. We need a national movement to change this situation. It's that serious. I just want to make a couple more points. In the spirit of Juneteenth, celebration of African American freedom, we need African American history and we need African American studies now more than ever in K through 12, pre-K, colleges and universities. This, again, is so serious because we can't let conservative politicians take us down the path of ignorance. It makes no sense. We can't do it. It really is so serious that we teach our children the full history of this country. And I guess I should have mentioned that I have a friend sitting in the audience, and he reminded me, where does education start? At home. And so we've got to teach our children, our friends, our family, American history, African American history, global history, in home, at home, and then make sure it's taught throughout the school system. Last point I want to make. In the spirit of the anti-racism plan that the city already is implementing as we speak, working through DEI, working on developing trainings that make sure we're more knowledgeable, understanding, loving, and supportive community. I think that's a good thing. I think we have to do more of that. But when great crimes have been committed, great remedies should be proposed. As all of you know, during World War II, much of the Japanese American population was incarcerated in the United States, in internment camps, in concentration camps, because they were Japanese Americans, and there was the wartime fear that they were threats to national security, even though they were American citizens. So their rights were kind of fundamentally and systematically violated. Over 100,000 Japanese Americans were interned between 1942 and 1945. It took them 40 years of struggle, but eventually they received reparations from the United States government.
Say it again!
Reparations from the United States government. Reparations from the United States government. Check of $20,000 and an apology from the government. Was that sufficient? No, because they lost, in many cases, everything. Homes, cars, property, liberty. 1, 2, 3 years of their lives. Some died in internment. I give that example because I think that Huntington Woods should consider supporting the movement for reparations for African Americans. I know it's a different situation, a different dynamic, but I just want to emphasize there are domestic and international examples of reparations, financial and other, given to groups who've experienced great crimes, great human rights violations. I want to end again by reiterating that I hope Huntington Woods can consider making a statement or including the idea of reparations in their plan. Let me end by where I began. Thank you again for coming out. Thank you again, Katie, for organizing. I really appreciate you. I love you, and I believe that we can make the world a better place. Happy Juneteenth.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. And thank you to Roots Vibration for lending us the microphone system for a little bit. Sorry about that earlier. So next we'd like to invite to the podium our representative, Haley Stevens.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Katie, and thank you to the city of Huntington Woods for gathering for, I believe, what is the second year for Juneteenth. The second year that Juneteenth has become a federal holiday signed into law by Joe Biden, and a bill that I was so proud not only to vote for, but to co-sponsor. And as I heard the words of Dr. Ollie Johnson, midway through, I believe, sir, but thank you for your academic leadership. Thank you for your role in Southeastern Michigan and for our state, and thank you for your role here today. I join in the reflection and the call for the teaching the holistic, proper teaching of Black history. I am 6 months, so the quarter way mark of a 2-year term in the 118th Congress, in a majority that is not my party. And I sit on the Education and Labor Committee. I sit on the Science, Space, and Technology Committee. And I have pillars of work: manufacturing and innovation, STEM education, competition across the world, and racial reconciliation. And so as part of that pillar of work, my journeys this year in Congress have taken me to Selma, Alabama, with the Faith and Politics Institute for a journey of racial reconciliation, for a journey of the teaching of Black history, the humbling journey to stand on the Edmund Pettus Bridge alongside my colleagues and our recently departed colleague, John Lewis. And as part of that journey, I got the opportunity to go to the Equal Justice Initiative and the Memorial for Peace and Justice. What is the Memorial for Peace and Justice? Well, one, it's the memorial that every American should go and see, because it is the memorial that recognizes the victims of lynching in this country. And it is not just 1 or 2 people, but it is hundreds and thousands of people. It is names similar to those who were enslaved for 400 years. It is names that we will never know. It is names that will not be spoken in this hall or in Detroit City Hall or in the United States Capitol. And I got to that memorial, and it was our first day of the trip, and it was so moving, and it's really on this exquisite piece of land in Montgomery. And I had a reflection of a story that has been told publicly by our state Supreme Court Justice, Kyra Harris Bolden, the first Black woman to ever serve on the Michigan State Supreme Court. This year, she was appointed. And Justice Bolden talks about her story of injustice to justice as the great-granddaughter of an individual, her great-grandfather, was lynched. And I looked up that story of Jessie Lee Bonds as she told it publicly at this memorial, because how the memorial works is that it has it by county. And it has it by county hanging from the ceiling on these big iron hanging posts. Then it has the posts laid out, and the counties can claim these posts and put them as a stake in the ground. Because God forbid there's never been a lynching here in Huntington Woods, but if there had been, we would have this post to recognize and heal from that form of terror. So I looked up the story of Jessie Lee Bonds, and I got some of my colleagues, and I got some of the memorial staff, actually it was the Faith and Politics staff who were with us, and I said, I'd really like to find Shelby County, Tennessee. Now, there are hundreds of counties. And so we were looking and looking, and some are hanging from the ceiling, and we're looking, and the sun starts to set, and they give me a little light, and I'm looking and looking and looking. I'm going through state after state, Mississippi, and Alabama was in there, and we're looking and looking, and finally it's now dark. And I'm thinking, well, it would be so symbolic to find Shelby County, Tennessee. Since I am here, and Ms. Bolden doesn't know I'm here, but I'd like to see this. And when this little dot of a light that they gave me, I found it. And I found 5 names written on that post, and the last name on that post was Jessie Lee Bonds. And there I stood as a congresswoman from Michigan in the newly formed 11th district, committed to this work, hearing the call of how do we fully repair and rebuild? How do we compensate for what can't even fully ever be compensated? Veterans who were denied benefits, families who were robbed of property, families whose businesses were burned down. Here we sit in the year 2023, and some say, well, it's time to move on. But I stand before all of you here to say it is time to do the tireless work. I am back to Washington tomorrow. First of all, it feels really nice to be home with friends. Huntington Woods is like a second home for me. I grew up in Birmingham. I had a bunch of best friends who lived here, wreaked havoc on Scotia and Vernon. It's okay. We were kids. Back to Washington tomorrow for the 7th straight week of what some in the majority party call lawmaking. Others of us just call a backwards agenda for America. And so we have to push on this from the local level, from the 6,000 person city led by the great Bob Paul here, our longtime mayor of Huntington Woods, and alongside this incredible city council, and I want to thank everyone on city council for your leadership. We take it from the local level to the state level. The state is working on Juneteenth level up to the federal level. And we can celebrate as well. Juneteenth, the true Independence Day, is now coming before the other Independence Day. It is now a federal marker in this union. It is an incredible thing, but its meaning, as Ali had shared, is bigger than just what President Biden signed into law. It is something that as a federal lawmaker weighs on me almost every day. Because 158 years ago, and if we put that into context with the arc of history, 400 years of slavery, 158 years ago, when Union soldiers rode into Galveston 2 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation to finally tell people, you are free, slavery is now outlawed in this country. What weighs on me is how does our work, particularly the unbelievable work that we achieved in the 117th Congress under Nancy Pelosi, an Inflation Reduction Act, a bipartisan infrastructure bill, a CHIPS and Science bill, efforts for our veterans, work still to be done for voting rights and George Floyd, justice and policing. How does that work reach people? Because our Inflation Reduction Act wasn't just the largest climate bill in the history of this world, of which we should celebrate, because Michigan is playing an unbelievable role in its success with the proliferation of electric vehicle technology that's going to revolutionize and change our society. It's also the lowering of the cost of prescription drugs. Once and for all, we've had Medicare, as we've now made it so that Medicare negotiates the prescription drugs, and insulin, which needs to be $35 for all Americans, but the start that we got is that insulin is capped for older Americans at $35 a month. How does that reach people? And so this is why I keep Mayor Paul on speed dial, and Jules Holzman, and Michelle Elder, and my other pal here up in the front. This is why I am a bit, and Regina Weiss is here, and Wittenberg is here with the treasurer, who's managing all of the county money. Huntington Woods' hometown son, we're very proud of him. He was one of the friends from back in the day, high school days. Internet was just developing. And when I was at Seaholm High School, I started the Diversity Club, which shamefully today, one would shudder to think, well, would that be controversial? It cannot be controversial. So every single one of you who has taken the time to commit to the involvement of Juneteenth and its meaning for our history, past, present, and future, and where we must go, needs to envision what Juneteenth will look like 400 years on. How do we heal? How do we rebuild? How do we repair? It is what motivates me every morning as I shoot out of bed on your behalf. So again, as your ever eager Congresswoman, who is so humbled and grateful to be before you here today in recognition of Juneteenth, I believe it is my final Juneteenth event of the weekend. It's been a fabulous weekend in Michigan's 11th District, let me just tell you. Celebrations, parades, community coming together around independence and around a marker in our country's history. I thank you all so much. I thank the city of Huntington Woods, and I commit to moving forward together. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Representative Stevens. So we just have a couple more announcements, updates to share with you all. Next, I'd like to invite to the podium Robert Reed, who's going to be representing one of our very important organizations for the city and also for the larger Berkeley School District. He's coming to us from the Berkeley African American Parent Network. He's going to share a little bit about his organization. Come on up.
Thank you very much. Just want to give a round of applause to Representative Stevenson. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing, representing us. And give yourselves a round of applause. This is an amazing event. You guys got to give yourself a round of applause. My grandfather told me it's a sad dog that can't wag its own tail, so. I'm just here representing the Berkeley African American Parent Network. I'm the incoming president. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. Khadijah Fobbs started this organization with some other parents in 2011 to provide a space where parents who are committed to high academic achievement can come together to support our students. So this is a parent-run organization. We have monthly meetings for Berkeley schools district-wide. We just want to make sure that we're supporting students and parents and giving that space for those who really care about academic achievement. So if that's you, please stop by our table. We run a program called Saturdays for Success. Have you all ever heard of Saturdays for Success? It's a fantastic 6-week extracurricular program where we volunteer to make sure that our students can come out and get some extra help in math, science, English, literature. It's very, very important, but also I know that it's important what you learn outside of the classroom as well. And I'm from a small town in Clovis, New Mexico. Anybody been there? So having a place where I could go where people kind of look like me and I can kind of relate just a little bit is very important to academic success as well. And so if you're looking to support, please stop by. You can donate $10 to support the work that we're doing to support our students. We would love that. And just thank you for the opportunity to speak, and hopefully we'll have a chance to speak at the table. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. All right, and thank you again to the Berkeley African American Parent Network for being here. I'd now like to bring Mr. Dallas Armand up one more time for another song.
So for the second selection, I'll be singing a spiritual. Those of you who do not know, when enslaved Africans were brought over or stolen over here, their main form of communication, of course, different languages, all of that was taken away. So they took songs and hymns that they heard in their captors' churches and morphed them into secret messages. So I'll be singing one for you today, and it's called Soon I Will Be Done with the Troubles of the World. Soon I will be done with the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world. Soon I will be done with the troubles of the world. I'm going to live with God. Soon I will be done with the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world. Soon I will be done with the troubles of the world. I'm going to be with God. No more weeping and wailing, no more weeping and wailing, no more weeping and wailing. I'm going to be with God. troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world. Soon I will be done with the troubles of this world. I'm going to live with God. I want to see my mother. I want to see my mother. I want to see my mother. I'm going to be with God. Soon I will be done with the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the troubles of this world. Soon I will be done with the troubles of the world. I'm going to be with God. I want to see my Jesus. I want to see my Jesus. I want to see my Jesus. I'm going to be with God. Soon I will be done with the troubles of this world, the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world. Soon I will be done with the troubles of the world. I'm going to be with God. I'm going to be with God. I'm going to be with God. I'm going to be with my God.
All right, thank you, Dallas. My name is Daniel Denna. I'm going to close this out for the evening, and I will wrap it up as quickly as possible because I'm dying to hear more of Roots Vibration. I'm a committee member on the Huntington Woods Anti-Racism Advisory Committee. I'm all honored to volunteer alongside some of our other committee members who are here today. We've got Kia Essien, Jessica Lynn Edwards, Christina Kozlowski, Carrie McKee, our student representative, Brandon Marr, and Katie Beaulieu, of course, our chair and MC for tonight's program. So as we conclude, I just want to take a moment to highlight some of the activities that we've got. We've got Roots Vibration, musical force that provides authentic Caribbean music with members hailing from Dominica and Detroit. We've got Waka, of course, I'm sure, a food truck by Baobab Fare, East African restaurant that honors traditional dishes served in Burundi. We've got Sweet Delights by Rhonda available for purchase. Make sure to drop by the library's table because we've got a Juneteenth book giveaway and take-home crafts. So fantastic work from the Huntington Woods Public Library. We've got coloring activity courtesy of the Burton Diversity Alliance Club, hosting in-depth learning on concepts such as diversity, culture, identity, and advocacy for club members, as well as school-wide learning throughout the year. We also have information available over here for the Huntington Woods Peace Citizen Education Project, our Anti-Racism Advisory Committee, the Berkeley High School Diversity Council, the Berkeley African American Parent Network, and of course the Burton PTA Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And we've also got a voter registration booth for anyone who's not registered to vote already. Finally, we also want to just give a special thanks to Huntington Woods City staff who made today possible. City Manager Chris Wilson, Director Deb Hamier, and the Huntington Woods Public Library, Bridget Levine, and our Parks and Recreation Department, and our many wonderful Huntington Woods community members and friends for their support and effort in today's event. A special shout out to some of our other representatives, State Rep Regina Weiss. We've got County Treasurer Bob Wittenberg here. You know, we're just very excited to have you all here. So happy Juneteenth, everyone. Please continue to join tonight's activities as we celebrate and honor the significance of Juneteenth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Juneteenth 2023. Roots Vibrations, Huntington Woods. It's a pleasure and a joy. I've never seen a diamond in the flesh. I cut my teeth on wedding rings in the movies, but I'm not proud of my address. In a torn up town, no clothes would envy. But that song is like go to great, tripping at that dude, but things fall out. She don't tell me we don't care. We driving Cadillacs in our dreams, and everybody's like this now, baby. Diamonds in the time, we strip with ties. Titles in our gold, we don't care. We got caught up in your love affair. And we never be oh yeah. It's running our blood. We got a rush to sing for us. We crave a different kind of buzz. Let me give you a ruler. You can call me queen. Let me be your that fantasy. Wake the town and tell the people roots vibrations is here. Huntington Woods, come down. My friends and I, we crack the code. You hear me? Ha. We count our dollars on the train to the party. And everyone who knows this knows that we're fine with this. We can come from one. Somebody's talking like no secrets. Sleeping in the bathroom, bloodstains, doorknobs, trashing your town. We don't care. We try to get our last in our dreams. And everybody trying to stop me. Diamonds in the time, we strip and tie. Tigers on the guns. We don't care. We got caught up in your love affair. Never be Thank you so much. You babies are giving me so much energy. The dance moves that you all have, trust me. If I wasn't behind this microphone, I'll be right out there with you dancing. Got moves like yes. I have sons too, so it's so cute. I love it. This baby just sitting there, he's so cute. Oh my God, they're so adorable. So this song is called Running. You all like to run, right? Yes? You like to run? You gotta run so fast that you can't stop. And whenever, this is where it all begins, right here, when they're this young, that anything that you set your mind out to do in life, to accomplish, you just keep running after that. You keep going, you don't let nobody stop you. Trust me, I used to be that little person watching somebody that's a big person behind a microphone telling me all of these things. But it means something, because you have to give it back the way that you received it. So we're gonna run. I'm not gonna physically run, but we're gonna run in our minds, but I'm sure they're probably into running. So we're gonna run. Life is a journey, but gotta keep on moving. You can't give up. Never. Giving up is not an option. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Tread along, tread along. Tread along, tread along. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Tread along, tread along. Tread along, tread along. Running. There you go. Running for a long time. Running. Running for a long time. Pick up the pace. Got to run this race, but I know I'll make it happen. Got a few haunting streets, and they come up under me. I can't give up now. Running for a long time. Running for a long time. The soles of my feet are ready to run, but I got to keep on moving. You lose, get up, whatever you choose, but you gotta keep up the fight. Running for a long time. Running for a long time. Feeling the sweat falling down from my face. So many tears of pride along the way. The loved ones I lost had dreams of their own. But one day I looked and I was all alone. Leave this thing simply called in my dream. Can't give them now cause they're counting on me. This journey is real and may be worth it someday. But right now you see I don't have no time to waste. Running for a long time. You can't stop now. You gotta keep on going. Running for a long time. Run, run, run. Tread along, tread along. Running for a long time. Run, 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 run. Tread along, running for a long time. Run, 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 run. Run, run. That street is closer than it seems. You can't give up. You gotta keep on running. Running for a long time. Running for a long time. Running for a long Do you want love? Ladies and gentlemen, Huntington Woods, all the children, this is for you because we know that love is the only answer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We know fighting for? We want more love. Big man, little man, give it a helping hand with more love. Let's eliminate the hate, and come with more love. We say love, 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 love. Let's live intelligently, using earthly resources for everyone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Saving our planet so our children will have a future. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Together we are winning. We are one. Keep that pressure coming. Keep us down. Loving will always conquer hating. Love has won. We all done with them ism and them schism. We want more love. Attention words. Tell me what are we fighting for? We want more love. Put down the weapons and come with more love. Let's eliminate the hate and come with more love. Attention words. I feel love, 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 love. Whoa. If you live in the sounds and you love in the sounds, just simply say yeah. Yes. Let's live intelligently, saving earthly resources for everyone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Saving our planet so our children will have a future. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Together we are winning. We are one. We gonna keep the pressure coming. Nothing will always conquer hating. We all done with them ism and them schism. We want more love. Yes, until one foot. Tell me what are we fighting for? We want more love. Throw down the guns and come with more love. Eliminate the hate, my brothers and sisters, come more love. Because we want love, 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 love. Yes, people. Uncontent wood. That's what we want for the children. More love. So. C'est pour ça que quand je vais penser actuellement, et c'est musique ça chaud. Roots vibration, annually. Now one thing I almost forgot. The name of the band is Roots Vibration. Your participation is simple. When I say roots, you say vibrations. Roots, vibration. That's your response. Roots. We're not here. Roots, vibration. Timing. Roots, vibration. That's right. Roots. Your turn. Come on, we can do that. Roots. Louder. Roots. Vibration. Roots. Vibration. Well, this one is going out to all the island girls, all the island ladies. This one is called Island Girls. So right now we tropical style, we island hopping. Right now we're going to dump people. C'est comme ça nous jouer actuellement et c'est musique ça chaud. Annually. lonely and strong. Sweet love with devotion to the I'll never treat her wrong. I love her. I love her. That's the way we're playing this afternoon, right now, from Islandville to Zukimwe. That's right, country people, don't be shy. Whether you wanna dance, prance, or romance, it's under the stars for you this evening. So don't be shy. You got a beautiful day, beautiful people. Let's go.
It's time to party. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. The music jamming, and we dancing. Ay, ay, ay. gentlemen, I was just surprised at how the time goes by.
Yes.
But what we want to share with you is that it's been that type of occasion where, as we're chatting back here, everyone is feeling so elevated, so high. And that's all because of the vibes here this afternoon. What a fantastic occasion. Yes, Juneteenth, 2023, Huntington Woods. Yes, one for the memories and all of you who participated, put it together. Yes, give thanks. Yes, because, you know, things we want in life is to be free, to be financially free as well, and to be safe. And those are the things, the fundamentals that I think we all as human beings strive for. So as we move along, remember to always talk confidently, love tenderly, and walk humbly. You make me high. You make me high. You make me high. You make me high. I love all your feelings and your positive vibes. You want to make life like sugar and spice. Big up yourself, you need a good night. And this one gonna take you up in a judge's light. So saddle up, and away we go. Roots vibration, never bring the shoe. Bustle down, and away we go. Vibes, roots vibration style. You make me high. You make me high. Huntington Woods, you make us all high. You make me high. Good vibes. You make me high. On top of my game, catch it when I flash it. It's so mystery, as you're making history. You got the fish when you stand it. This one gonna take you up in a judge's sky. So saddle up, and away we go. Oh oh, it's vibration, never bring the shoe. Oh oh, and away we go. Roots vibration. You make me high. You make me high. You make me high. You make me high. On guitar, ladies and gentlemen, you got the man and vocals, the man Steve, guitar, Caldwell. Put your hands together, put your hands together, put your hands together for Mr. Caldwell. Put your hands together for Steve, guitar, Caldwell, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for Steve on guitar. Yes. One more time for Steve on guitar, ladies and gentlemen. Guitar, vocals. Yes. Put your hands together again for Steve. Steve Caldwell, Steve guitar, Caldwell on guitar. Yes. Now my right, your left, stage on keys, vocals, and drum sequencing. You've got the 10th wonder of the world. Fire! One more time. 10. Put your hands together for 10. 10. Sure. One more time. 10th one on keys and vocals. Sequencing. Yes. Respect. Respect. Stage right, your left. On lead vocals, ladies and gentlemen, the lioness of the band. This is Lakeisha, the lioness Tugger. Put your hands together for Lakeisha, ladies and gentlemen, the lioness.
I just want to thank you. Thank you for having us here today. Thank you for freedom. Thank you for togetherness. I thank you for love. Because love conquers everything. It means so much to all of us. Because if it didn't, we all wouldn't be here. Here just to celebrate life. To celebrate everything that we have. You've all been listening to me sing all this time. I think I should just talk just a little bit more. That's it. I'm just grateful. Just grateful. Truly grateful.
Yes.
Grateful just beyond words. I tell you. God
So
bless
put
you.
your hands together, ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen, for the lioness, Lakeisha Tugger.
Hey.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes, the lioness. Yes, as we run it through. Put your hands together. Yes, you've got Steve, you've got 10, you've got Lakeisha. Now we've got the Rhythm Kings back here. That's the drum and the bass, obviously. They set the mood for the type of music that we groove. On bass, nicing up the place, keeping your heart beating. You've got Mr. Chris Macy Spooner. Put your hands together for Chris. Put your hands together for Chris on bass. Bass. Keeping that beating. Pace. Pace. Put your hands together for Chris on bass, Mr. Bassy. Woo. Yes, now his sparring partner on drums, ladies and gentlemen. You've got, yes, the king himself, Mr. Matt, the Matador Lemons. On drums, the Matador. Mr. Matt, the Matador Lemons on drum. Yes, and his sparring partner on bass, slicing up the place, Mr. Chris Bassy Spooner. On guitar, you've got Steve, Guitar Caldwell, and you've got Lioness. Yes, Lakeisha the Lioness Tuggle, and the man back there. Yes, on keys, you've got 10, the 10th wonder himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, Huntington Woods, thank you for having us. Please give yourselves a round of applause, first of all, for this magnificent Juneteenth. Give it up for Juneteenth.
No doubt, no doubt, no
Give
doubt.
it all the way up for Juneteenth. And of course, without any further ado, front and center stage, on guitar and lead vocals, straight from the island of Dominica, Winfred J, a.k.a. Stunner Right.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, glad to be in spiritual and physical health, but when we come, that's the way we do it. Yes, so positivity is a must and that we trust. Goes like this, you see. Booyaka, booyaka, that's what's going on the streets. People dying, and people filled with lots of grief. Realities of life, I'm not here to stand and preach, but here to teach the things that we stand for. So you're gonna keep coming back for more and more. You see the truth, and the rights, eradicating all the gunfights. No stopping, I'm in full flight, I'm in full flight. So, you make me high. You make me high. Huntington Woods, we love you. You make me high. Our time is dear. You make me high. And before we leave, just a few announcements. Yes, don't forget you can follow us on the social media platforms. Facebook, yes, Roots Vibrations. Also, Instagram. And the website is rootsvibrationsmusic.com. And you'll see all of our schedule and all of the information following this event. Yes, but we'd like to thank each and every one of you for having us. We appreciate the love and it comes with much gratitude. As we don't take anything for chances. Life is holy, life is a blessing. So don't take it for granted. And we just want to spread more positivity in terms of what we do. Yes, not to preach, but just to teach, because we know that knowledge is power, and right now their forces trying to suppress knowledge. Yes, that's the way out. Until the next time, Huntington Woods. We'd also like to thank Bridget Levin for having us. Yes.
Respect Bridget, thank you.
Yes, for having us, Huntington Woods. Yes, and all the officials that were here. We hope you appreciated what we did. And don't forget, keep in touch. We've got business cards, etc. But obviously, we're going to end on this note because you've made us so high. You make me high.